I'm going to be talking about how to start your event planning business this year. Whether you're trying to start out as an event planner, wedding planner, party planner, this video is for you. Hi, so if you don't know me, I'm Jody Ann Rowe. I'm the founder of the Event Certificate, and I work with event planners and wedding planners to help them get more leads into their business. If you're struggling to build and grow your business, find clients, and get that revenue coming in, hit me up. I'm your girl, and I'm ready to help you get those leads. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into a lot of the tips that you need if you're starting your event planning business from scratch, the things that I recommend and resources as well that you can access. Now, because I don't want to give you a bunch of tips and ideas to just run off and not do anything with, I also created a handy checklist that I'm going to link down below that you can also download and take with you. You can have it in your hand and check those items off as you're setting up your business. Tip number one, the first thing you're going to do is going to research your market. Research is one of the most important parts of starting your event planning business. And it's one that you might notice I included in all my tips. And there's a reason for that. When I started my business first, I started my business without doing any research. I jumped in because I was passionate about something. I dived right into doing it. Now, of course, it led to me having about 2 to 3 years where I was all over the place trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Did I want to keep this as a blog? Did I want to do a course? Did I want to work with people one-on-one, right? I was all over the place. Had I actually stopped and done some research like you are now, that would have been very different. And I might have seen higher revenue and success earlier. You're in the best position because the fact that you're watching this video means that you've already taken the step that you needed to start your research. So depending on what area you want to do work in event planning, I want you to take some time to think about what your area is like, how many businesses are around, what they're doing, what they're offering, what people are demanding, and look at how you can actually build and structure your business to meet that. So what do I mean by that? So I was recently speaking to someone, and one of the things she shared was that she is really, really passionate about doing kids' birthday parties, but everyone that keeps coming to her is for like retirement parties, right? And she wasn't really into that, but those were the clients that were coming through. A couple of things I asked her. Okay, so before you dived in and decided that you wanted to do kids' birthday parties, do you actually stop and take the time to research and see if parents in your area were DIYing their parties or if they were hiring event planners? And guess what? She hadn't done any research. The other thing too is, are you getting most of your business through referrals? Because if you did someone's retirement party and they loved it, they might just be referring you to more clients like themselves. So if that's where most of your traffic is coming from, how are you marketing your business outside of that? And is there a market for it, right? Or maybe you should just switch your niche. Maybe the niche that is really big in your area are retirement parties because you have an older population where you live. But here's how you find that out. You actually stop and take the time to do the research. Now, here's the thing. We're actually in 2024 where a lot of people are saying we're in a recession, we're entering a recession, depending on the country you're in. It's all different, it's all over the place. I'm in Canada, by the way, right? So here's the thing when you're doing this. If you're about to start a business at a time when there was a lot of speculation, you do need to take the time to do the research, right? You don't want to jump in and realize after you've put in a ton of work and built a ton of processes and systems that you're actually in the area that no one is looking for. There's no demand. And as a result, you're not going to find a lot of clients to bring you the revenue that you want. Because ultimately, we're in this for the money, right? You want to service clients, but you do need to be profitable at the end of the day. So take the time, do the research. And tip number 2 is that you want to create a business plan. So once you've actually decided that your business is viable and that you've found your niche, the area that you really want to be in and that there is a demand for, you actually need to take some time and write a business plan. Now, a business plan is not a requirement. Your business is not going to necessarily fail if you don't have one. But what a business plan allows you to do is actually take a pause, sit down and put together a plan of action about how you're actually going to proceed to get this business up and running. And that's important. It's going to force you to think about certain short-term and long-term strategies or questions that you might not even have thought of. It's going to say, okay, what are your financial goals? What are your financial objectives? Who are the clients you're trying to target? Where are these clients usually, right? A business plan forces you to think thoroughly about what your next step should be and how you should structure your business to guarantee or at least ensure success in what you're trying to do. Now, tip number 3 is that you need to choose a business name. Now, you'll notice I didn't make this tip number 1 for a very good reason. It's because I don't want you to get hung up and too focused on business names and get stuck trying to come up with the best name for your business, the most catchy name, all that stuff, instead of actually focusing on how you're going to find clients, who are the clients you're trying to find, and if your business is viable, right? That's the reason I put it at number 3, because I don't want you to get in that trap of focusing too much on your business name. Now, while choosing a business name is important, yes, some people I found they get completely caught up and stuck in that section. So your business name is not the most important thing. I'm going to say that again, right? And if you're unsure about what to use, right? This is where people get stuck. Just use your own name. Just use your personal name until you come up with something else. Don't let this be the stumbling block to actually start your business. And then you're years down the line and you're like, oh yeah, I was going to start, but I couldn't find this. That's not the thing that's going to give us pause. So move on from that one. But I'm also going to link in the download some business naming strategies that will help you get over the hump. Now, tip number 4 is that you need to determine your legal structure. What do I mean by that? Well, I get asked this question a lot. Jody, should I be a sole proprietor? Should I be an LLC? Should I be an S Corp? Should I be all these different things? Here's the thing. It's important to explore the different business structures available to you before you actually make a decision. But whether you're choosing to operate as a sole proprietor, a partnership, a corporation, these will all have different implications for your business, right? These will mean different things. Like, for example, for a sole proprietor, it means that all of the financial liabilities fall to you. If something should happen in the business, you're fully financially liable. If you're incorporated, it's a corporation's responsibility as opposed to you personally, right? There's so many different aspects that you need to focus on. But here's the biggest thing. I am not a legal expert, so I am not offering you any legal advice. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I want you to actually go and find a lawyer and an accountant and discuss these structures with them. Now, you're probably thinking, why are you telling me about an accountant if I'm trying to define the legal structure? Well, I like to include an accountant in these conversations because they give you information sometimes about what might be financially more practical based on your income and situation, where a lawyer might be looking at it more from the legal perspective and what is the best thing to start for you as a business owner. Tip number 5 is that you need to register your business, right? Once you get all the ideas out the way and you've gotten the business name and all the good stuff and you've chosen your business structure, go ahead and get your business registered, right? Don't leave the registration part open, because if someone else goes ahead and register your business name, guess what? You're stuck, right? So look up your city website, whether that's their Chamber of Commerce or maybe it's just their online portal where they do their business registrations and other business systems and processes. Go ahead and check that out. I don't know what that is for you because we're probably in a different city, but with a little bit of Googling, I'm sure you can find it. Just type in something like business registration and your city name. You will find the government page that will link you to all the forms, online processes, and maybe a fee that you should be aware of and how you can go through that process. Now, I should add that this is also the time when you want to register or apply for any business licenses and permits that are applicable for your city based on what you're doing. But as I said earlier, if you've spoken to a lawyer and or an accountant, well, mostly the lawyer, they can probably advise on what's needed for your business. You can also speak to your local Chamber of Commerce to see what they recommend based on what your business operations will include. Because I know, for example, there are event planners out there that might do event planning, but they might have kind of a space that they rent out, and all of these requirements are a little different in terms of permits and licensing. So also check that out as you're doing the business registration. Tip number 6 is that you actually need to register your business domain name, right? And your business domain name is where people will find you online. So for example, my business domain is www.eventcertificate.com, or for my template shop is www.eventplanningtemplates.com, right? It's all up to you, but try to get a domain that matches your exact business name, right? If you're not able to find a domain name that fits your business name, then choose the one that closest matches, or one that matches but with your city. So here's an example. Like if your business name is Destiny Events, try to secure destinyevents.com. Now, if that is already taken, then you could go for something, for example, like Destiny Events Atlanta, providing you're in the city of Atlanta, and that will work as well. Right? So think about how you choose that, how you go about naming it, and how you can get the best one for your business to ensure that people can find you online. Now, my recommended site for purchasing a domain name is actually Bluehost. I find they're one of the best sites out there because you can find domain names as low as 99 cents. And I'm going to link their information down below so that you can check it out. Now, tip number 7 is you need to set up a website. If you plan to have an online business space and get found online, a website is important, right? Your website will be essentially your online home for sharing your services, your processes, your portfolio, and all of that with potential clients. So you need to spend some time to create a website that will not only wow your potential clients, but will also increase your chances of getting hired. Now, whether you do this website yourself or hire a professional, completely up to you. Though I do recommend hiring a professional, and you can find them even on platforms like Fiverr.com, which I'm going to link below. Tip number 8 is that you need to secure your social media accounts. If you're starting a new business, it's important to secure your brand presence on social media, even if you have no plans right now to do any social media posting. That's okay, right? Because this will help to prevent someone else from signing up with your business name in case you change your mind later on and you decide, you know what, I do want to venture into social media. So go on all the platforms that you need to and secure your business name handles on all of them, right? And here's the thing, as your business grow, you may change your mind about which social media platform you want to use, or you may swap back and forth. But I want you to have that option later on. And the best way to do that is to ensure that you're securing them right now. Now, in terms of recommendations, what do I recommend? For wedding planners, event planners, party planners, if you're in the more visual space, then I recommend the more visual platforms for you, right? So what does that look like? Well, that's going to be the Instagram, the Pinterest, even though Pinterest is a search engine. We'll address that one another time, right? You want to be on TikTok if that's your jam, if that's your client's jam, right? But you do want to be on the more visual platforms where people can see photos and videos of your work so that they can make a decision, or at least an informed decision, on whether or not they would like to work with you. Tip number 9 is that you need to build a portfolio. That's right. You know this one was coming, right? So here's the thing. A portfolio is essentially how people get to see what you're capable of, especially if they're not familiar with your work and if they're finding you online, or if they just met you on the street and they don't know anything about you, right? A portfolio is your opportunity to really market your business and market your services because you're showing everything that you're capable of. So your photos, your videos, all of it, that's your portfolio. Now, as a new event planner, if you're just starting out, you might not have an established portfolio, in which case you need to focus on building one. That's non-negotiable, especially in today's market, and especially if you're in a city that has a lot of amazing event planners with amazing photos and videos. Guess what? Those are your competition, and you need to actually be on par with the quality that they're showcasing in their portfolio. Now, here's the thing, because I know a lot of you started probably in the same way that I did, where you started doing family and friends events at home and not really as an event planner. You can still use those photos. If you plan your niece's 5th birthday party and you got all the photos, take them. That's your portfolio. You planned your sister's wedding, take those photos. That's your portfolio, right? These are still your opportunities to market your business. Because they were for free or you did them for friends and family doesn't mean that they don't still show what you're capable of. Or maybe you worked in a past job where a part of your role was, creating different events or setting up conferences and meetings, whatever that is. You can still use those event photos as long as there's no conflict or you have permission to do so. Use those photos because that's your work and that's a representation of what you're capable of. Now, here's the other thing. You might be starting out and you have none of this, in which case you got to build up portfolio. You can do that through a number of different ways. You can work with clients to get that started. You can maybe offer to work with someone on a lower cost or a free capacity just to get some branding images and photos. Or you can plan a style shoot. It's completely up to you. But in the checklist that you're going to download, it's attached to this video, I outline a lot of the options and some tips on how to do all of them. The next thing you're going to do, tip number 10, is that I want you to open a business bank account. Yes, I know. You might already have a bank account for your your personal use, but I don't want you to actually get that one too muddy when you start your business. While it's possible to operate your event planning business using your personal bank account, it's not one that I recommend because it's much easier to track your revenue and your expenses when you have a separate account that all your business, revenue and expenses go into, essentially, right? It just makes it easier for you to track. And believe me, this one I learned personally. Come tax time, when you're saying to the government, yeah, I've been running this business that I registered and now you you want to know about my taxes. It is easier to do that when you have one account that's dedicated entirely to your business. And you don't want to get caught like me, guys. I've had this before where I had them all muddled together, and then come tax time, I was trying to figure out what was what and what was which, and it was not pretty. And listen, the tax man, the government, was not happy about it either. So definitely open a separate business bank account. Tip number 11 is that I want you to actually set up an accounting system. Now, saying accounting system makes it seem so formal, but here's the thing. Once you have your business bank account, you do need a proper system to actually track a lot of your expenses. And I recommend doing that monthly if you can, right? And maybe you don't have the finances to hire an accountant, or if you do hire an accountant or a bookkeeper, go ahead and do that. But you want some kind of system in place, whether you're using a software such as Wave or something else that you can use to kind of monitor and get an overview of your process. Now, if you're on a CRM, which is a client relationship management system, a lot of them will have some component of this included. Like, for example, HoneyBook will show you, and I'm going to link this below if you're not familiar with HoneyBook. HoneyBook is a client relationship management system where you can use to send proposal and invoices and all the other good things to a client who you're booking or working with, right? And once you do that, you'll be able to see how much revenue came in, right? But it's completely focused on the revenue perspective. This is why I like to say connect an accounting system, because HoneyBook then can connect into something like QuickBooks, where you can then see, okay, here's how much I made just from client invoices, but here's how much I spent because I had to do the decor, I had to hire, this, I had to do the rentals, all the other good stuff. And you can have an overview very quickly of where you're standing every month at any given point. Tip number 12 is that I actually want you to speak to an insurance company. What? Yes, 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 yes. Here's the thing. I like to keep everything kosher because I don't want you to run into any issues later on. And as a new event planner, it's actually essential to protect your business with the right insurance coverage. Now, what type of coverage that is, I have no idea. It will depend on your business, the type of clients you're working with, the type of events that you're going to be planning. But what's important is that your specific insurance needs you should be aware of them and they should be covered. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to search your local area, find 2 to 3 insurance companies, call them up and explain what your business is or what your business plans are, and ask them if you actually need insurance. So maybe you're just going to be you're going to be doing weddings mainly, right? Say to them, I'm a wedding planner. Here's what I'm going to be doing. Do you think I need any type of insurance coverage? They might say, yeah, you do, just in case this happened in an event. Or you might say, I'm going to focus mainly on festivals. Do I need any insurance coverage, right? Let them advise you on what's best, because I don't know. It's going to be different for me. It's going to be different for you, but they will tell you based on your city, based on your business practices, your operations, what's best for you. Now, what you choose to do with that information after is, of course, completely up to you. Number 13, here's what I want you to do, because now we're getting into the good stuff. This is where you're going to really start building and growing the business. I want you to actually start to get to know some vendors, right? Get to know your vendors, because these are the people that you're going to be working with. These are the people that could be referring you clients, right? So before you start any planning and paid events, it's always a good idea to get to know the various vendors in your area. Research the local vendors, caterers, florists, other service providers, whatever that is, venues that you want to tour. Do all of this and create a list of the ones that you liked, the ones that you would ideally like to work with, the venues that wowed you, because this also helps you to create a list of recommendations for when you do start booking clients. Because guess what? They appreciate that. Your clients want to know that you're knowledgeable, right? And this will save you so much time and hassle once you begin working with clients and you're already familiar with the best vendors in the area. So look into that. Look into how you can put together a list and make recommendations to your clients once you start booking them. Plus, here's the big benefit of this. Having a strong network of reliable vendors is a key to success in your actual event planning business, because vendors support you, they support your business, they support the kind of service you provide to your client, but most importantly, they're a huge part of your business growth because they can also refer you clients, right? That's where your revenue is going to come from. Now, number 14, I want you to start doing the pretty stuff, right? I want you to actually go ahead and select your brand colors. Now, branding is a crucial element of any business as help to establish like consistency and make your business more recognizable. But the reason why I didn't put this at the top is because I don't want you to focus on the pretty stuff without building the foundations, right? This is like building a house. I need you to have the foundations in place, and that's like your business registration, setting up your bank account. I need you to have all the foundation in place before you actually start making it beautiful and adding decor, right? So here's the thing. Branding colors help people to recognize your business and your brand very quickly and easily. These can be used in your different branding materials, in your marketing materials, in your logos, and all the good things, your business card, all of it, right? So be sure to put some thought into the type of colors you select. Now, in the checklist attached to this video, I also link some resources that will help you to come up with branding colors if you're at a loss. One site to start with is canva.com. They have so many tools to help you select your business colors. Now, tip number 15 is actually selecting your branding fonts. Are these different from your branding colors? Well, clearly, but here's the thing. So your branding font is just a type of fonts that you be using on your website and in your marketing materials. And here's the thing. I want you to select like 2 to 3 fonts and stick to them. Use those only, because a part of your branding is to be recognizable. And if every time you put out something, it's a different font, different text, they all look different, it's hard for people to actually associate certain things with your business and your brand, right? So a part of branding is consistency. Use the same colors, use the same fonts, and your business become recognizable. Your business also has a present. Your business just looks more professional, right? It helps you to create a cohesive and recognizable image. And you want that because these are the things that also help you to attract clients and to impress clients when they happen up on your social media pages or your website. Now, number 16 is one that I know a ton of you have been waiting for. So here it is to actually create a business logo. Now, your logo, it's a vital element of your brand and should accurately reflect your business. Like, let's be honest. But if you're not a graphic designer, right? If you're not a really creative person, it's okay. This is where you might want to hire someone to do it for you and create a professional logo. It is not super expensive to get someone to create it. You can even find pre-made logos on Etsy.com that you can purchase, or you can hire a professional designer on a site like Fiverr. And guys, I've gotten logos on Fiverr for $5. Like my first business logo I got on Fiverr, it was $5. And I'm going to link Fiverr down below, as I mentioned earlier, so that you can go and check them out. There's so many creative people on there, right? But the idea is that the logo should align with your brand so that it can resonate with your target audience. Now, here's the thing I want to warn you about. I don't want you to try to tackle this task by yourself unless you have the necessary skills and experience to get it done. Because nothing looks worse than a logo that looks like you created it yourself in Microsoft Word, right? You want clients to have some confidence when they see your brand, like you are a professional business. So treat it as such. So check out Fiverr and some of the other platforms I recommend. There are great resources where you can find amazing logo design or amazing logo designers, whichever one you want to do. If you want to go pre-made or a designer, up to you. But check them out. Highly recommend. Now, tip number 17 is that I want you to order your business cards. Now, in today's day and age, business cards, they're not a requirement, right? They're really, I recommend them depending on how you're structuring your business. If you know that you're someone that's going to be very front facing, you're going to be out networking, you're going to be out meeting people at community events, like you're really going to be pounding the pavement offline to find people, I recommend the business cards. These are something you can whip out easily. But you can also still share your information with people without a business card. So this is one I say use depending on what your needs are and what your preference is. It is not actually required. Now, of course, I'm also going to link some of the resources in the checklist where you can find different options for getting business cards printed. That could be on like Vistaprint or on canva.com, really up to you. Number 18 are your business templates. Okay, now you started the business, you're doing all the good stuff, but having the back end of your business set up is actually just as important as the front end. What do I mean by this? Well, The front end, think about it as from your brochures to your social media images, getting your templates created and branded is really important for your business to be just presented in a very professional way. Some examples might include like your brochures that shows your past event, your portfolio and things what you're capable of, your proposals to potential clients about how they can work with you or why they should hire you, your contracts, email templates, service and pricing guides, social media templates. There's so many options out there. Now, if you're on a CRM like HoneyBook, you have a ton of these that are already built into the platform. And I'm going to link HoneyBook down below because I actually can offer you a 50% discount when you sign up. Link in it, check it out, highly recommend. Now, if you're not on a CRM or if you're somebody who's just not really, you're not into tech, you're like, I don't want to do this where I have all my processes in place and done for me really well and really efficiently. And maybe you just want to send one-off proposals or other items, then I'm going to link my business template shops for you because it has a ton of event planning templates that you can check out. That's pre-created, pre-designed. You just drop your branding colors, your images, your fonts, and you're good to go. Not a lot of design work that you need to do because they're all already created for you. Now, number 19 is my favorite because I'm a little biased, right? I am an online digital marketing expert. So of course, 19 is marketing your business. Once you have all this stuff set up and everything's in place, you do need to market your business, right? It's time to market to get clients. And this would not be a thorough startup checklist if I failed to include this one, right? You can do this through a number of different methods. You can think about it from signing up to Google Business Listing, to getting listed on online directories, to running Facebook ads, whatever that is for your business, you need to market, right? Building a business is one thing, but your clients don't automatically find you because you've created a business, right? I know there's the old saying, build it and they will come. That is not true in this case. We are in a very saturated world and market with tons of businesses. You do need to promote, right? And you can even promote your business by hosting a launch party. You can promote it through your friends and family, letting them know your business is up and running. You're taking clients and look for referrals, right? Whatever that is, it's important to just promote your business over and over. Now, if you're at the stage where you've already done all the other 18 tips I provided and you're struggling with the marketing, reach out to me directly because I do offer a number of marketing services that might be right for you. Check me out, www.eventcertificate.com. Now, the key here is to start with actually a marketing strategy in mind when you're marketing, right? Don't just go out and be like, I'm going to market and go to a wedding show, right? That's not the key. You need to understand who your target clients are, where they are, and what are the best methods for reaching them. And that's where a marketing professional like myself can help you to find the answer to that and provide you with a full-on strategy. Number 20 is to hire support. So here's the thing for this one. Once you've launched the business, it's really time to think about if you actually need help, right? I believe in hiring before you need it. But if your budget doesn't allow, you don't need to do that. But this could be even as simple as an event assistant. If you start booking clients, you might need an assistant or just a freelancer for one-off projects, right? Or a virtual assistant, whatever that is for you. The key here is to not try and do every single task on your own and by yourself. I remember when I first started my business, freelancers helped me tremendously, like from helping to create a logo, like I told you on Fiverr, or someone helped to create my intro video on YouTube when I used to have the intro video to my channel. All of these, you can pay them one time, they get the job done, and you didn't invest a ton of money in labor, but you still got some time and you got some quality work done by someone else who's better at it than you are sometimes, right? The key is to just remember, as you're starting up this business, remember to delegate, delegate, and delegate. I have to say this multiple times, right? Right? Because especially if you're a one-person operation, or if you're also doing your full-time job while running your business and you're trying to juggle both, the way that you can still grow that business is to ensure that you will also give more time to revenue generating activities. And the way to do that is to free up your existing time. So if you're running a full-time job, you're trying to start this business as a side so that you can grow it and then leave the full-time job, you need time. You're not able to do everything by yourself. Get a freelancer to create the logo, to help you build the website, do all the things, right? So that you can focus on the things that's bringing money into your business. And we all know that's where it's at. I'm going to give you a bonus one because this is something I wish someone had told me at the beginning of my journey. right? So this bonus tip is to find a mentor. One of my biggest business regrets that I'll share with you is that I didn't actually seek out mentorship and support earlier. Now, I'm someone who I'm very much into learning by doing, right? And I did exactly that when I started my business. Now, the downside of this is that I didn't necessarily need to do that, right? I jumped right in and I tried to do everything by myself. And the unfortunate part of that is that it meant that I worked a lot harder and a lot longer at certain tasks than I really should have or that I could have, right? If I just looked for a way to shortcut the process and seek someone who'd already been through it, who had a certain level of knowledge and expertise and could share that knowledge and expertise so that I didn't have to spend a bunch of time trial and erroring and learning from my mistakes, right? So honestly, if I could if I could go back, this is what I would do. I would say I could have saved so much time and money if I had just seeked out some kind of mentor or training earlier. So I want you to think about that. If you're struggling, if you're going through it all, like I spoke to someone recently and they were at this event planning business thing for like 6 years and they weren't actually profitable in any given year. And I said, well, at what point were you going to stop and seek support? So there you have it. These are all my top tips for starting an event planning business this year. Now, be sure to also download the business startup checklist for your guide and reference as you go through the process. Now, when I mention mentorship, I should put a caveat. People usually say, okay, perfect, Jody, and you mentioned it, so you're not my mentor. No, that is not the thing I'm saying. Right? Because a lot of people who reach out to me in that way, when I say that, are looking for free mentorship. And guys, I gotta be honest. I am busy. I'm running a business. I have multiple commitments. I have different collaborations and sponsorship commitments. And I also have a family and I have a toddler, right? So it's very difficult for me to offer mentorship time outside of what I already do, right? So I do offer mentorship locally to people who I choose to mentor. So I can't take on any additional mentorship. So the way to access my mentorship time, unfortunately, is you got to put some money down. You got to take, that's an opportunity to work with me where you can book time in my calendar and get my dedicated attention, right? Because here's the thing, I've had people say to me, well, I can just buy you a cup of coffee and you give me some mentorship. I'm going to be honest, I can't afford to buy my own coffee. So if I'm going to actually spend time away from my family, spend time away from my child, right? There needs to be something more of an incentive where I'm okay, like disconnecting and leaving them to make it worth my time. But that said, you can seek out other mentors. But if you're ready to have some skin in the game and really do this properly and do this with some accountability, come to my website and we can speak, www.eventcertificate.com. Now, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing year. Keep coming back to the channel week after week. I have more videos like this one to help you build and grow your event planning business. And I get a ton of safe service-based business owners who are not event planners. So I do have to say this. If you're a service-based business owners, still do come on over because I get a bunch of you anyways, but I just want you to know in case you're one of those watching it on the fence, you can still reach out to me. I do work with a lot of service-based businesses as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have yourself a wonderful day.